Alright, Lantis, so today we are jumping back into the Amelia ARRANCAR guild quest, which currently right now has access to 4 new extra levels. For the most part, we're going to be using this team today, more so showcasing both Esnot and also Bambietta, the 2 best and go-to leads for this phase. I also want to highlight one character that I'm finding very useful for guild quests like this, especially when there are ARRANCAR enemies. Now, personally, I think one of the best parts about this guild quest phase is that Swimsuit Bambietta, a character that released almost a year ago, and has returned quite a few times since, potentially more going forward into the future. If you're saving for the upcoming swimsuit banner, she very well might likely be there. It makes beating this guild quest phase a lot easier, given the availability of the characters that we do have access to. Even right now, for example, where the boss is a power character, in a way that would put Bambietta at a disadvantage, and it does when compared to someone like Esnot, but honestly, both of them can clear it, by themselves or together. And the first thing that we are going to use today is using them together. Now, from what I'm seeing going around in the community, Bambietta, Esnot, of course, can clear all 4 extra levels. Kilgay can clear all 4 extra levels, but a character like him, not fully built for guild quests, does require a bit more support. Maybe you need him duped out. The more transcendence, the better. And I really can't comment on a character like Uryu and also Ichigo. Ichigo definitely can't. Maybe Uryu can, but you're going to be relying on normal attack damage characters. Speaking of those normal attack damage characters, given that 3 of the main characters being used here are Quincy's, of course you are going to see Gremmy used alongside them. This guild quest phase, though, does have access to quite a few normal attack damage characters as well. Renji, for example, is that. Likewise with Soifon, she's been holding down this guild quest phase since basically 2019 when she released. It's actually quite amazing that we still use her to this day. But both of those characters are your go-to normal attack damage characters with a team boost. Other than that, you have Kaname, you also have Neliel. They're technically characters, so not as good right now, but maybe in the future when they don't have attribute disadvantage, they'll have more value. And then we also recently got this Yumachika. He's a normal attack damage character that actually buffs Esnot, so this guild quest phase is access to like 5 good normal attack damage characters, 2 really good leads, and 2 potential decent leads that maybe need more dupe investment into them. So in my opinion, making it one of the more easier guild quest phases that we do have access to in Brave Stars right now. For those that are curious though, right now this seems to be the best team that you can make for this guild quest phase. I really like the idea that Esnot was technically a replacement to Bambietta, but the way these characters work together, especially being both Quincy that get buffed by Gremmy, in a way they're almost perfect for each other and do allow to get some pretty good scores. Now ultimately the main reason for that is because Esnot does inflict weakening plus, so when he does inflict a statism, it allows Bambietta to deal more damage. And while Bambietta can't inflict statism plus, she does inflict both lacery and also paralysis, good statisms. And Esnot's weakening plus doesn't stop Bambietta from inflicting statism. So both of them can reliably get their spiritual pressure boost, and just also, most importantly, deal a lot of damage, especially when paired with Gremmy. Now, as always, when it comes to building your characters, you do want to go with a build like this. I guess Esnot is an example. If you are using a character that's only special with level 1, at least for us guild quest heads, right now, this is the best build. You're perfectly fine going with SP in all honesty. But if you do want to go with a focus build, you do want to use 2 accessories with 30 focus, and then 1 accessory with 30 SP. Going full SP is perfectly fine though, keep that in mind. Both are good, but regardless of what effects you are going for or what transcendence stat you invested in, you do want to make sure you are using the Quincy Cross at 5-star plus, the Melee Bag again at 5-star plus, and also the ARRANCAR Killer Sticker. For builds, just go with as much recharge and strong attack damage as possible. I'm going with these 3. And then bonus abilities for Esnot is just full stamina and damage to weakened enemies. Bambietta's build is the exact same. In my case though, because I have Bambietta 2 out of 5, level 10 SP and level 10 focus, I am going with the full SP build here. If she's 1-5, again, you can do the exact same. Once more, as much recharge and full stamina, strong attack damage as possible. You could give Bambietta full stamina and damage to weakened. I chose to give full stamina and damage to lacerate because that does give 40% more damage instead of 20%. And then lastly, Gremmy's just here to boost our Bambietta and Esnot, providing a 20% strong attack damage boost, 30% more damage to enemies inflicted with a status element, and we'll also use a Mugetsu to get an additional 20% strong attack damage. So jumping into the quest, how fast you clear really depends on if Bambietta and also Esnot inflict statism at the same time. So we got a pretty good first phase. We're going to group everyone together, then use our SA2. Going into the third boss, we're going to use our EX attack, then Soul Bomb, then combo the SA1. Bambietta's doing pretty good here. For this phase, I like to, unfortunately, took some damage, so that kind of ruins the run, but on the 4th boss, given that they are a speed character, I like to use my SA1 and hopefully have Bambietta kill with whatever strong attack she decides to use. So let's finish up there. Again, Esnot's a really good character, by the way. A character that I will praise any day I can. A lot of people discredited this character because he didn't have any strong attack damage built in. But the character itself does have, like, what, 3 different debuffs, right? On the Sword Bomb, the SA2, and also the EX attack. Which does have a 45-second cooldown. Which is quite small, or shorter, compared to other characters. As the normal cooldown is at 60 seconds. And this does allow us to use it twice easily, even if you decide to use the EX later on. So this run, by the way, for the record, is going horrible. But this is the benefit that we can inflict Weaken Plus, let our team deal 50% more damage, and then Bambietta can provide that protection with the fact that she can inflict Lacerate and also Paralysis. So, considering that we took damage, it's going quite fine. We might actually still beat it. We're going to come down to the last second here. Probably not going to be unless Bambietta locks in here. But, you know, that just goes to show, even at a bad run, where I'm just, you know, going in, taking a lot of damage, we're still almost cleared all 4 extra levels. Again, for videos like this, I don't like to reset a lot for a really good score. I do that in my own time or during our streams. But I like just to go in and see what it feels like to use the character without, you know, resetting. Because sometimes some characters can get a really high score, but it's not going to help the average player if that score takes like 2 hours to get. So let's try that again, this time hopefully not taking any damage. So first up, let's use our SA3. We got the Weakening proc, but unfortunately Bambietta didn't inflict the status summon or attack the boss. Only until now, but we'll keep it going. Let's SA1 into the 2. So again, second phase is quite easy. You can potentially clear that second phase without, or wave without having to use an additional strong attack. That's really only if Bambietta logs in. So let's use our 1. Bambietta kills there. It's going okay. It's going okay. We got 42. Again, a team like this, if it just goes well, can get upwards to 53 seconds remaining, with the highest likely being 54. But let's just make sure we back away. Bambietta, I believe in this case, actually inflicted a status summon with her normal attacks, which is kind of funny. But just make sure whenever a boss comes in, you have an SA or strong attack ready. That way you can actually inflict the weakening straight away. Hopefully Bambietta can attack too. So again, right now you just have the great combination of paralysis, stopping the enemy from attacking. Sometimes even Gremmy can inflict an attack. And then we can just inflict weakening non-stop, always provide the damage. And then in this case, use our EX attack, which lowers the enemy's stats and lets us do more damage. And there we go. Super easy run using these 2 characters with the potential of also getting quite the high score. I think weakening plus units going forward into the future are going to be very good for guild quests and might allow them to have long-term stay in their guild quest team. Because in the future, if we do get a better character than Esnot, but what's going to happen is that Esnot's just going to become the secondary character, inflict weakening to allow that potential character to deal more damage. And even in other guild quest phases, we are seeing that too. You know, Giselle, for example, actually benefited from a character like Ichigo because he can still inflict weakening and let Giselle deal more damage. We're seeing that a lot in other phases, and I feel like we're going to see that going forward into the future, especially with the media ARRANCAR Guild Quest team. Weakening plus unit, in my opinion, have a lot of value, and you're going to see that once more with another character later in the video. So let's do one more run, because I want to showcase a better example, right? So again, we got the status proc, SA3. Go here, SA1. In this case, we didn't actually need to use an additional strong attack. There we go, going well thus far. In this case, can we SA3? Pretty decent. Unfortunately, Bambietta didn't quite attack fast enough because we could have killed that very fast. That actually could have been a PB there if Bambietta took down the 4th wave while we used that third strong attack, sorry. But that's basically an example of a really good run when it comes to using these characters. Now we're just going to go on the victory run, make sure we kill this super fast. Going to back away so we don't take any damage. Bambietta can take damage. It's fine. As long as we stay at full stamina, we're fine, right? We're better off. So again, the SA2, the debuff Esnot has is just really good. Like, having 3 debuffs is crazy. It really is. And that's like the best part about this character and why he's better than what you might just see when you read the skills. Because again, a lot of people are trashing this character. Only Frenzy and no Berserker, that's fine because he has 3 different ways to debuff the enemy. But in that case, we got a 49-second run and it only took 3 attempts to get that. So I'm actually relatively happy with that score. Next up though, let's try Bambietta as the lead alongside an additional normal attack damage character. Now keep in mind, if Bambietta plus any normal attack damage character can beat a phase, that pretty much means you're guaranteed to do the same thing if you use Esnot, because Esnot just right now deals more damage given that he is a speed enemy. When it comes to this team, nothing is different about Bambietta or Gremmy. When it comes to a normal attack damage character, again, right now with the current build that we can do, I actually need to change this killer effect, but this is the best build that you can do. The punching bag accessory, golden chappie, and also killer effects. With that, give your character as much normal attack damage as possible. I'm going with these 3 soul traits. And personally, I'm using Soifon because I recently got her max transcended with the 3,000 G blood character that we did get. But Soifon is replaceable with Renji. Renji would be better if you have more transcendence, and he's also safer because he does have the barriers. Right now, at the very least, I wouldn't recommend using Kaname and also Neliel because they're both technique. And the problem with Yumachika is that he's not a team booster. So if you were to use Yumachika as a team booster, maybe that third character you would want to replace Gremmy with someone that can provide a team boost and also barrier. For example, right, and this is the character we are going to showcase in just a few minutes, a character like Okura. He's going to provide the team boost and barrier while also apply weakening with his weakening plus. So if you have Okura and you don't have a team booster that can also deal normal attack damage, so in this case you want to use Kaname, Neliel, or Yumachika, well then throw on Okura, assuming you have that character. But yeah, Bambietta's run's going to look very similar. We're just going to constantly inflict paralysis and also lacerate, sometimes almost one-shot the boss, and then Soifon, when she decides to use her normal attacks, she'll just deal a lot of damage. So in this case, we don't have Poise Break, but we never have to worry about the enemy ever attacking us as long as we have an attack ready. Because look at the damage that we're doing, especially when paired with Gremmy, right? So going into Sunton, this is probably the easier phase. Do that, and I guess we don't even need to use our Soul Bomb. We have plenty of time to spare. It pretty much is 2 strong attacks per phase, for the most part, takes down a boss. In some cases, if you get lucky, and maybe Soifon is attacking with you, you will be able to maybe one-shot. Now, in some cases with Gremmy, when we are using a character like this that don't have status summon plus, it does suck when Gremmy inflicts a status summon. So, we need to keep using attack here. Did Gremmy get 2 status procs twice? Gremmy, it's like, man, he kind of just ruins the run a lot sometimes. Because unfortunately now we've taken a hit. We would have been fine. We actually would have been fine. We might have to retry this. That's just something they have to keep in mind when using Gremmy, is that he can ruin the run. As great as he is, sometimes he can ruin the run. And quite frankly, that just came down to the fact that he was able to attack the enemy before us. So with Gremmy getting multiple status procs and us taking damage, it does ruin the run. Let's try that once more. Alright, so second run. Hopefully this character, Gremmy, doesn't inflict a status summon. So I always like starting off with my SA3. I think he did just do that again. Oh my god, there's no way Gremmy already got a status proc. Not like it matters. But damn, that'd be crazy. In this case, let's back down, then use our SA1. Again, right now I'm not going to go for the fastest play time with Bambietta, but as long as we can clear, that's fine. Let's SA3. Really good damage there. We'll let Soifon finish up. I think in the case for Bambietta, given that the boss is power, maybe you want to use a Soul Bomb. Again, you can always pick and choose when to use a Soul Bomb. If you know you're going to beat all 4 extra levels without the Soul Bomb, use it beforehand to get a better score. But if you do need that weakened defense, for example, it's definitely better off saving the Soul Bomb for later. So I want to play it safe out. I really don't want to take any damage. Let's SA3. Got the status proc. Lovely. Again, we just want to make sure we attack the enemy before Gremmy does, because sometimes he's going to really ruin it. If you can pay attention to when the boss is about to... Oh, dodge that. Okay, we got a status proc again. As long as you get every proc, it's fine. We'll Soul Bomb now. Final boss. Weakened defense. We lost our spiritual pressure boost, but it's fine. Soifon could deal damage. Let's use our SA1 now. Maybe I shouldn't have Soul Bomb then. Maybe wait for the SP boost to wear off before you decide to do what I did, right? But it does kind of come down to the last second, to be fair, but... we could have maybe played like 10 seconds faster had I not used the Soul Bomb then and there. But that's something you can do. It's definitely a team that you can try bring in. And again, Soifon's basically replaceable with Renji. Now, what you also can potentially do, and in a way you might be able to do this in other Guild Quest phases, but it works better when you're up against ARRANCARs. So the setup is still the same. We're using Bambietta. We're using Gremmy to boost Bambietta. But now we're going to use this character. So right now, Okura is seeing some really good usability as a side additional support character for the fact that he does provide the team boost and also the barriers. But again, this character can inflict weakening plus. So every now and then when Aaroniero decides to use an attack, maybe even get it on his normal attack, but most importantly, when he does use a strong attack, it's going to apply weakening and let Bambietta, in some cases, maybe one-shot an entire phase. And in all honesty, this might be worth looking into, especially if you're using a character like Kyogre, for example. We might have to try that in the video to see how far it can go. Because if you find your main character dealing some pretty good damage and almost enough to one-shot a phase, well, that extra weakening is going to go a long way. Because it's 50% more damage, and because it's weakening plus, it doesn't wear off after a second. It lasts a few extra seconds, meaning you should be able to take advantage of that weakening status element. So jumping into the run, let's see how it does go. Let's use our SA3. We do actually one-shot there. Group everyone together with the SA1 into the 2. Once we're going to back down, use our SA1. We almost one-shot there. You did actually see that Aaroniero did use an SA1 like, almost straight away. SA1, again, doing pretty good. And then the SA2, while it doesn't have poise breaks, unfortunately, you can see the enemy got kind of lost in action. It does group all the small mobs together, so that does actually help you out when it comes to clearing waves. So we got 36 seconds there. Not the greatest run, but you can kind of see the potential. There were a few times that we almost one-shot an entire phase. All right, second attempt. Let's see how this does go. So again, we could actually wait. Look at that. Use the SA1 there. If you want to time the attack, you can potentially do that when Aaroniero used the SA1. Like right now, for example, almost one-shot to be fair. So maybe we need an extra bit of damage for that phase. Let's SA3. Almost one shot. I think if Oak did actually use the SA2 there, we would have been fine. SA2 into the 1. And then we can deal some normal attack damage. So 42 seconds, right? This one is a bit more RNG, whether it does work and get you a high score. But at least it's going to be consistent. Because now we can just basically use any strong attack we want. And hopefully Aaroniero does use the weakening. Or get the weakening proc. Got the weakening there, lovely. Let's just go into the next phase. So if anything, this team feels a tad bit better when it comes to the extra stages. Because Bambietta can actually deal some pretty good damage. And the weakening procs are quite consistent right now. Might as well Soul Bomb. Use our SA1. So this is something that you can do if you do not have a normal attack damage character. So pretty cool that Aaroniero is getting some extra usage when it comes to guild quests. Because right now he's the only character with a team boost, barrier, and also has weakening plus. It definitely felt better when it came to the extra stage. Using Aaroniero definitely felt better in the extra stages. It was definitely less close to. And I think she does have some real potential when it comes to... And I think she has some real good potential when it comes to getting a good score. Potentially 50 seconds remaining within the first 5 waves. If you have Bambietta max transcendage, you might actually be better off using Aaroniero as a side instead of an additional normal attack damage character. And I might have not showed it, but in terms of how to build him, his damage output doesn't matter. Just give him as much recharge as possible. Next up, let's just see how far we possibly can go. I've already tried out Kyogre. I believe he can get just about into extra level 3, but personally, I've never tried him alongside Aaroniero. Maybe that will help us out. I'm not entirely too sure. Again, I've heard Kyogre can beat it, but you might need him max transcended. And maybe, to be fair, in a case like this, you want to build him with an additional normal attack damage character. So again, other characters have stayed the exact same. Now, when it comes to Kyogre's build, it's not the greatest. Again, I should be using the Quincy Cross at 5-star plus, but right now I haven't actually evolved a Heart one. And I don't want to do it just for one run that isn't going to get me a better score in guild quests. So if you were using this character, do definitely evolve the 5-star Quincy Cross. Links again as much SP and full stamina as possible. And then right now my character is basically 3-5, so level 10 SP, level 10 SP, level 10 focus, level 9 attack, with full stamina and also SP as bonus abilities. So again, the biggest problem this team's going to have is the lack of crowd control. Now we have the Vortex here, which is great and all, but that's not going to help us all too much when it comes to the poised enemies. But maybe the weakening will, you know? So we can also use our normal attack just to get that extra bit of damage output. Okay, going good thus far. SA2's been reactivated. We might as well use our SA2 now. We did follow up with the weakening. That's actually pretty good. Let's SA1 upwards. It's going to be kind of hard to follow along where the enemy is. Good damage there. And then SA3, SA1, and then SA2. So, not the fastest. And I feel like we can clear faster, to be fair. But we'll take it. We'll see how far we can go in our first attempt. SA1. Let's back up. Want to make sure we don't take any damage. If we do take damage, like now, for example, we can still get back up to full stamina. Unfortunately, again, Gremmy just always ruining the run. I saw he got a status proc. So the enemy's back up. Again, Killgate doesn't have the highest chance, but, you know, we can see the potential there with some pretty good damage. We might need to reset again once more. And just hope Gremmy doesn't get the status procs. Because, like, when it goes well, it's going well. Like, we're actually doing some pretty good damage. And we didn't even get to use our soul bomb. Okay, there's definitely potential. Look at that. We got into the fourth boss. We got into the fourth boss. And we took so much damage. And again, Gremmy just keeps ruining the run. All right, next attempt. Let's make this the run. So I'm going to use my SA3. We got a status proc. Lovely. We use our normal attacks there. Again, with this, you kind of want to wait for Aaroniero to use that SA2. Sorry, SA1. And you can kind of see when he does it. Because if you use an attack right after, then that's the run. So again, he got weakened there. Unfortunately, we didn't get the status proc. We didn't have an SP boost. So that meant that we didn't quite one-shot, but it was close enough. SA2 there. Going decent on this phase. And then it's SA3. SA1, then 2. Not the fastest. But we have 40 seconds. And again, with the damage potential that we saw in the last run, we might be able to do it. We might be able to do it. SA1. The problem is Tesla just has like crazy range. Weirdly enough. Right, SA3. Then 1, back up. I'm not taking any damage whatsoever. We're doing well. I think, honestly, Sun's the easier boss. Now I can't see. Okay, we got it. I'm going to wait to use my soul bomb. Did I mess up? No, we have the SP boost. Hold on. Oh! Come on. SA1, we did it. No way. There you go. There you go. Killgate can still beat it. It was a 3-5. I have good links. Maybe not the greatest representation, right? But it goes to show. I mean, Killgate isn't as common as I would like him to be fair, because I've only gotten him 3 times since his release. But you're going to see him every now and then, and it's cool to see a character like Killgate still be able to manage all 4 extra levels. In the future, if you can potentially max transcend him, that would definitely ensure that extra level 5 he should be able to beat. But the main star for that team, in all honesty, it really is Aaroniero. So that's something that I think is just worth looking into, honestly. If you have this character, he might actually be better than a normal attack damage character, because that weakening proc just lets you do 50% more damage. It's too good. It's too good. And in a way, it'll be less consistent, but you can use him technically in any other Guild Quest phase. But the thing is, he only has the increased chance against ARRANCARs. But hey, ranged ARRANCAR, melee Espada. Probably not, because Kenpachi has melee Espada covered. But anytime you're up against a run, because honestly, it's worth taking out this character. And maybe in some cases, you might want to bring him out anyway. In a way, I can kind of see why Caleb didn't give this character Poise Break. Because if you did, and it would have been very cool to see that, you would have likely seen this character in every Guild Quest phase. So in a way, it's kind of unfortunate he didn't get it. Because, man, this would have been the best Guild Quest support. Very similar to how we considered Orihime one of the best supports in the game. But, yeah, I think that's enough for today. We showcased 3 different characters, right? Killgate. You want to use with Aaroniero. Bambietta can still be used with a Nat character or, again, Aaroniero. And then Esno, if you have him, you're going to clear it relatively fast. He's the safest character and best character to use. At this point in time, Quincy's are basically taken over the melee ARRANCAR Guild Quest. You have 4 Quincy's that you can use. Oryu, I think, would struggle a tad bit. He doesn't get the benefits like Killgate does when you are using, you know, Aaroniero in your team. But maybe, to be fair, you want to try that. Oryu with an ad character and then Aaroniero as a side. Whenever you can throw an Aaroniero again, you kind of want to. But yeah, with that said, I think that's the video for today. We showcased 3 different Quincy's today. Surprisingly, we cleared with Killgate. I actually really did not expect to clear with Killgate, in all honesty. But again, that is many thanks to this Aaroniero. So this Guild Quest phase has kind of been taken over by Quincy's. Nice to know that, again, Killgate can still beat it with the new added support of Aaroniero. And when it comes to normal attack damage characters, you have quite a few options. You have 5 normal attack damage characters that you can use. We only used 1 today, that being Soifon. But again, if you have Aaroniero in your team, you can get away using Kaname, Neliao, and of course, especially Yumachika. With that said though, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know the team you'd like to use in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.